I was elected to help lead this nation. So the first thing we did, open the House up. The bills, you now get to see them before you ever vote on them. And now we're cutting. And you know what? I'm going to make some people uncomfortable by doing that.
Someone needs to do a wellness check on House Speaker Kevin McCarthy because he's currently engaging in political suicide while he attempts to cut Social Security and Medicare, and that is what he's talking about in that interview. New polling suggests that the majority of Americans, including Republican voters, do not want that. So before we get to the results of that poll, it's important to understand what the GOP is currently plotting, what the idea is behind cutting Social Security and privatizing Medicare. So apparently earlier this month, a panel comprised of 3/4 of House Republicans released a budget proposal that would raise the Social Security retirement age, cutting benefits across the board. They also wanted to privatize Medicare and slash taxes on the rich. So the proposal outlined by the 175-member Republican Study Committee, led by Representative Kevin Hern from Oklahoma, would gradually raise Social Security's full retirement age, the age at which people are eligible for full Social Security benefits, to 69, up from the current level of 67 for those born in 1960 or later. Now, far from raising taxes on the rich, the Republican Study Committee budget calls for massive tax cuts by proposing a permanent extension of the individual tax provisions of the 2017 Trump GOP tax law. The Congressional Budget Office has estimated that such a move would add 2.5 trillion to the federal deficit over the next decade. So understand what they're doing here. The argument that you hear from the GOP over and over and over again is, oh my God, the Social Security program, it's not gonna be solvent pretty soon. So we gotta do something, we gotta raise the retirement age. But in reality, they wanna do these cuts in order to justify tax cuts for the rich. That is what they want to do. That is who they've always been. And Americans aren't having it. I'm gonna give you the polling in just a moment, but Cenk, what are your thoughts?
Okay, this one shows their hand completely. And I'm a bit shocked that the Democrats aren't talking about this 24/7.
They should.
Yeah, I mean, they'll wisen up as Democrats usually do about a year from now. And as the election gets closer, that's when they'll panic and be like, wait, we were supposed to be fighting for people. Oh right, it affects us and our power. Let's hurry up and talk about the issues that matter. So in this case, they're proposing significant cuts to Social Security and Medicare. That's a death knell. We'll show you the polling in a second. If anyone bothered to, you would only propose those if you think your opponents are the weakest people alive. Because that is political suicide if you thought there's anyone on the other side. They must think that the Democratic Party is a ghost ship.
Right, let me just elaborate on that more, because in order for this incredibly unpopular proposal to result in political suicide, you would need the opponents to campaign on it.
100%, so far I haven't heard a peep.
Me either.
It's insanity. Anyway, like I said, they'll figure it out right before the election. But now, the other parts of it to me show their hand even more. They say, okay, this is deficit reduction. We really need to do this to cut. We got to cut from Social Security and Medicare, and we got to cut taxes on the rich. Wait, I thought you were doing deficit reduction. Sometimes when you're playing poker, this is a very rare move, that somebody will literally show you their hand to see your reaction, right? That's what they're doing here. They're like, we're for the rich. That's our hand. What are you gonna do? I mean, this is literally saying, let's do wealth redistribution. Let's take from the poor, the needy, and the senior citizens and give it to the richest people in the country.
That's exactly right, yeah.
That's so brazen. By the way, Democratic Party, God damn it. Anyway, one more thing though, Anna, in showing their hand. On top of that, they added, we're gonna repeal the thing where you can negotiate drug prices on a couple of pills. So we don't want you negotiating any drug prices. We want them to be as high as possible.
Yeah, that's right.
That's saying I work for the drug companies, and this is the right wingers, the ones who are like, oh yeah, we shouldn't take the vaccine because of dirty big pharma, right? And now they're representatives. All of them are saying, no, we love big pharma. They stuffed our pockets full of money, so now we're gonna give them even more leverage, so you have to pay higher drug prices. This is saying we're the bad guys.
Are we the baddies? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. And look, you just mentioned the pharmaceutical drugs and how they do not want Medicare to negotiate drug prices. In addition to that, they want to further privatize the Medicare system. We've talked about Medicare Advantage and how that's the privatized model of Medicare. It is privately run but publicly funded. Well, they want to kind of expand that, and they want to turn the entire Medicare system into a privatized voucher system. The RSC budget targets Medicare with a premium support model that would subsidize private insurance plans, effectively transforming Medicare into a voucher program, which of course is an idea from former House Speaker Paul Ryan. The GOP proposal also demands work requirements for all federal benefit programs and sides with the pharmaceutical industry in calling for the repeal of the Inflation Reduction Act provisions aimed at lowering drug costs. Now that you get a full look at what the House Republican leadership is up to and what they actually want to accomplish here, let's see what the American people think about this, how they feel about these cuts and privatizing Medicare. So this new poll was done by Data for Progress, and here's what they found. 72% of likely voters, including 78% of Democrats, 72% of independents, and 65% of Republicans either somewhat or strongly oppose this move.
Guys, 76% of Americans say that you should increase Social Security benefits, even if it means raising taxes on the rich. More than 3/4 of the country. Now the Republicans propose the exact opposite. No, we're gonna cut from Social Security and Medicare, the two most popular programs in America right now and in American history. We're gonna cut from those and give to the rich instead. So I'm telling you, it's a slap across the face of the Democratic Party saying, we don't think you even exist. Because if you guys put in 1% effort, I'm showing you a 2-3 unsuited, and I bet you fold. Okay, that's the move that McCarthy's doing here. Now, remember that moment in Biden's State of the Union where he said they plan to cut Social Security and Medicare, and they were like, oh, no way, blah, blah. And then he's like, oh, good, you don't want to cut it? Good, we have a deal, right? That was like an interesting, nice little moment, and everybody thought, Biden got him. Did he? Because here they are, where's Biden? Biden should be doing like a fire-breathing press conference. He should have done it as soon as they proposed it. Here we are, however many weeks later, right? And he still hasn't done anything about it.
So look, Biden just yesterday was in Chicago giving a speech to tout what he has done for the economy. We did analysis on that. It's a mixed bag, but nonetheless, politically, Biden seems to have the right idea. Right, because by focusing on the economy, the issue that impacts American voters the most, let's keep it real, it shows that his head is in the right place, and maybe, just maybe, he's now going to pivot to attacking his opponents by focusing on what they're actually proposing on Social Security and Medicare. We'll see, but I think politically speaking, his decision to talk about the economy in that recent speech was a good decision.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, and one more thing, guys. So the Republicans always show you their hand, to be fair to them, right? So they said, okay, what's their top priority? McCarthy said before the election and after the election, well, if we get into office, we're gonna cut the IRS agents that are auditing rich people. That's your number one priority? Okay, thank you for telling me who you are. And so those cuts, by the way, cost the budget 6 times what they would bring in 6 times more money through those audits. And so it greatly increases the deficit by doing that. But I put this a whole bunch of quotes in my book, Justice is Coming. You can get it at tyt.com/justice, where Republicans and donors brazenly say, they said it during the Trump era and they've said it in the past, where they're like, no, I paid them for results, so they better cut my taxes, otherwise I'm not gonna give them any more money. Or they better get rid of Obamacare, otherwise I'm not gonna give them any more money. And Republicans like Lindsey Graham and others, they go, well, I mean, they would stop giving us money if we didn't do what they said. They just admit it, they say it publicly. And by the way, that leads to the last statement, which is the other folks that are culpable here is mainstream media. So they say it on the record. Have you seen the mainstream media going nuts covering? I mean, they'll cover Eminem gender for like months on end. Have you seen round-the-clock coverage of how the Republicans are threatening to cut the most popular programs in American history?
Nope.
I've seen almost none. So gives you a sense of their priorities. In reality, when it comes to economic issues, usually Republicans, Democrats, and mainstream media and right-wing media, they all agree you should get screwed and rich people like them should get everything. But in this case, the Republicans have gone over the top. So you vote for them at your own peril. They say and they promise they're coming for your Social Security and Medicare. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.